I was a recluse. I was a complete recluse.
I had an attorney. We already filed, or I was getting ready to file. I had everything ready to go.
I was just weak, and all I could do was walk from place to place and sit, and it was just double what I am now.
Wanting to change your life is nothing unusual, but some want or find something more significant. Call it transformation, or as Dr. Markuly calls it, conversion.
We're led up to a point in which a certain experience will end up leading to our conversion. We're primed for it, and we're kind of positioned for this experience that we end up having, whether it impacts us intellectually or emotionally or spiritually. It's almost like we're set up for it to actually happen.
Preparation can lead to a single moment that changes everything. For the Andersons, who were on the verge of divorce, it came when the two found themselves driving in separate cars one night in Silverdale.
I didn't know God. I never really talked to God. And I was driving in the car and I just started crying and asked, if you're really there, what do I do? And just ironically, I took the next exit. I was driving by myself, I need to get away, I need to think. And he had the kids. And I took the next exit, and it ended up in the Barnes & Noble's parking lot, and I just parked and cried. And nobody knew I was there because I didn't call anybody. And like 5 minutes later, he showed up, and he was knocking on my window.
I just feel that, like Kris said too, that there was something there that just kind of made us both end up in the same spot that night.
Mm-hmm.
And
it wasn't a coincidence.
No.
It just wasn't.
Christ is what held us together. I mean, it was tough. I mean, it's still hard, don't get me wrong. Every day I just ask for more help from him, to just strengthen our marriage. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect. I mean, we've got a lot to learn.
Before we just did stuff together, but now we spend time together.
Yeah.
BJ Young's moment came when she realized she had a safe place. But her transformation will take years. She's lost 140 pounds and is well on her way to losing more.
Everything I'd ever done just came together. Finally. And it's a long, slow process. I'm a dot living inside this. I don't know if you get that or not, but that's how I saw myself. A little tiny little girl living in her safe place. But for some reason, I'm sitting on the porch, and I don't know what triggered it. Like it's a fight. Am I gonna give it up? And I'm just rocking, and I'm like out of my head rocking, and I'm like, no safe place, no safe place. That's all I kept saying, and it kept pouring down, pouring down. He came out, got down behind me, put his arms around me, and said, "What's wrong, honey?" And I go, "I have no safe place, no safe place." And he started rocking me, and he said, "I'm your safe place." So the next day, I walked out and sat in the swing. This is after the doctors are all on me, and I'm knowing I gotta give it up, but I'll have no safe place. But that was what did it, that moment with him, that he said, "You've got a safe place." And I went into the chair the next day and started exercising. All I could do was barely get to the swing and rock and push. That was my first exercise. And it's still working. I'm still weigh 260. I've got to get down to now I'm going 199, and then 185, and then I'm going to have a surgery. I've got to have repair work done.
After 3 years of chronic illness and depression, Kymberly Oliver knew how she needed to get better. But it was an unlikely activity that completed her conversion.
I've always wrote my own death sentence. This is my life now. This is it. I can't leave the house. I mean, I couldn't even drive further than like 5 miles from my house because I was afraid if I had an attack or if I got sick, people would see me, the stigma of that. I was a recluse. I was a complete recluse. I lost all my friends. I saw on TV that there was roller derby, and I wanted to do it. And the only way I knew how to do that is I needed to get well somehow. It got me out of bed. It got me up in the morning. It got me social again. It got me back in the community. It was tough the first times I came. I didn't have any confidence. I hadn't been around people. The few people I'd been around already labeled me and knew I was sick, so I kind of had that stigma attached that I placed on myself. And then meeting these girls and seeing how open and wonderful and welcoming, and that they wanted you to be there and they wanted you to be a part of this cool new revolution that was going on. there was no stopping me from then, and it's totally changed my life. It's giving me a purpose, giving me a reason. It saved my life.